Hey everybody, so welcome back to Jim Bob's Garden. So today what we're going to do is we're going to plant this area up here, and I'm going to plant it up in watermelon, and I'm going to plant it up in some squash, and I may throw in a little bit of cantaloupe. We'll see. It's kind of late in the season. I don't know if it'll actually grow or not, but you know, I got extra seeds, so we might give that a shot as well. So these are all, well, all right. So the watermelon seeds are my seeds from a smaller round watermelon. I think it's, oh gosh, something sweet, super sweet maybe, I don't know. But it's a watermelon seed that I've had and I've grown repeatedly year over year over year. I believe these seeds are actually kind of old, and so we're going to plant quite a few seeds in the hole. And what I've done is I have taken a string, wrapped it around a piece of PVC, and then just a basic stick. All right, and basically what I want is I want this knot here to be able to slip around, and then basically you stick it in the ground, and then you can just run a circle around with this as long as that spins, and that's the PVC, so it slides easily around and around. Okay, and that gives you a particular size hole. However long you make this, twice this length will be the size of the circle rather. So now, does it matter? No, not really. One of the things that typically, though, they do tell you in almost every seed package back that I've seen, is for watermelons in particular, and I think for squash as well, to go ahead and build a mound. Now, I'm not sure what the purpose of the mound is. Okay, I really don't know. Okay, I'm assuming that what it's for is for drainage. All right, because a mound is going to drain down better than just a flat surface. Well, drainage isn't a real problem for me here. So we're going to go ahead and do these this year in a nice flat surface of this garden bed. Well, semi-flat surface. I did not, measure it out or anything of that nature. But the idea being that I have super sandy soil, and the water drains through very quickly. And one of my issues in the past has been keeping the mound wet enough that the plants actually want to germinate, start, and then really grow. So I'm going to do without the mound, and we're going to see how that works out this year. I have done it before. It seems to me, as I remember, because it's been a few years, that it worked fine. So I don't see a need to basically do it again. Now, this garden bed has been a good solid garden bed. It's grown a lot of stuff in the past. I have already put a bunch of compost into this bed in previous years. I didn't put any in this year, but what I did do, because it was starting to get a bit hydrophobic, you look back at my last video talking about hydrophobic soil, I went ahead and did the whole dig it all up and soak it all down and dig it all up, making this one big 10 by 12 mud pie essentially. So that has gotten this soil to where you dig down just a little bit, everything's nice and moist, and I can make clumps to where it's not just coming apart. I can actually make dirt clods, basically. All right, so that's nice and soaked in. Of course, the top layer looks a little dry, but that's all right. Now, the seed depth for these seeds, well, at least for the watermelon seeds, is typically going to be about 1 inch. So like I've told you before, that first knuckle on your finger, right about there, is about 1 inch. And I mean, that's close enough for government work. Depends on how long your fingernails are. All right, but it's about 1 inch. So you can use whatever finger, but that first joint on your knuckle usually is pretty good measurement for about 1 inch. Now with the watermelon seeds, because they are so old, I'm going to plant a ton of them in the circle. So I've got my circle drawn. Hang on, let me get you to where you can see here. All right, let's see here. Can we see? So I've got the circle drawn right here. And again, you don't need an exact circle. An approximation will be fine. Then I'm just going to dig a trench about 1 inch deep all the way around this circle. There's a rock. And again, the measurement for the depth Doesn't have to be exact. Measurement for the circle doesn't have to be exact, but the idea is, for me at least, that with this circle being 2 feet across, because it's about a foot, a little over a foot on either side, then what that'll do is that'll give me, you know, 2.5 feet between each of the plants. All right, and then I'm going to liberally sprinkle seeds, because like I've said before, because these are my seeds and nobody else's, they're super secret seeds. I would rather overplant and have too many plants come up and have to basically thin my plants than to underplant and not have enough seeds. I mean plants, rather. All right, so, and because I didn't have to buy these seeds, that I can do it without, you know, complaining or worrying about the cost for these seeds. And then the other thing with my own seeds, you know, I mean, I don't know what the germination rate's going to be, so I'd rather overplant than underplant any day. And then I have my food forest areas, and what I can do is then go and put whatever excess plants I want to. I can throw them in the food forest and just see how they do out there. All right, and then we're gonna do the same for the squash. Now these are Tahitian melon squash from Baker Creek, which, I don't know, maybe I'll take a picture like that. I don't know if you can see it or not, but if I get one that big, maybe I'll make a picture of it. All right, and we're gonna look on the back. Hang on, let me pull up my pants. All right, so looking on the back, once again, it says seed depth 1/2 to 1 inch. All right, it's being sandy soil, I'll probably go a little closer to 1 inch than to 1/2. All right. Now again, I don't have as many seeds here as I did of the watermelon, because I had to buy these seeds. And don't get me wrong, you know, I always, you know, talk about using my own seeds because it's better. But I'll tell you, you know, you do you. You want to buy seeds, buy seeds. You don't trust your seeds, then fine, go buy some seeds. It's the same thing, but I don't fertilize. I don't put any fertilizer in my gardens, on my trees, nothing. Now why do I do it? Well, I think it's better. I think it's a better idea to have no fertilizer, particularly no chemical fertilizers, for the health of my family, for the health of the plants, and for the health of the planet. All right, so that's my idea, my theory. But you know, you do you. You know, you will get bigger, stronger plants if you fertilize. I mean, there's just no question about it. All right. Is it worth it to go out and buy fertilizer? That's a decision you get to make. Now, even though I am somewhat limited on the seeds, I'm still going to be pretty liberal about planting the seeds, because you never know which ones will grow and which ones won't. So I'm going to put them about 6 inches apart, or 4 inches thereabouts, it depends. I'm not really measuring it out, don't get me wrong. And then I'll probably, in a hole this size, I'll probably leave 4. You know, probably 2 there and 2 over here. In fact, let's throw one over there. Will probably be what I'll end up leaving on the squash. Just because I know if the melons get that big, I'm sure the plants get really big. This should end up covering this entire area. All right. Once the melon starts and the squash starts to actually grow out and become big, it will definitely cover the area. Now, one of the things I have here is this fence. All right, and that will help to contain it, because I'll let it grow up the side of the fence And then once it gets beyond the fence, I'll start trimming it back so that basically I don't have to worry about mowing around it. So there you go. I got my watermelon planted. I've got my squash planted. I may either do another squash there, or I will do, I think I'm probably going to go ahead and try the cantaloupes just to kind of see. Notice I have my seeds over here in the shade. See, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and probably do some cantaloupe over here. I've got my lemongrass. Got the lemongrass back here in the back, right where the seeds are sitting in the shade, like I said. But I'll go ahead and probably put the cantaloupe here. It'll get shaded from the afternoon sun once, because the lemongrass gets up about the atoll, and by the time it really starts to get hot, that'll hopefully shade it, and hopefully will help camouflage the scent of the lemongrass. I may also put some more stuff along the edges, along here and along here, to try and mask the scent of the squash and of the cantaloupes and watermelons. The watermelons don't really seem to get attacked as much, but I'll probably put some stuff along the edges, maybe some marigolds, maybe some, I've got some garlic chives. I may put some garlic chives because they seem to grow real well. They might be really nice right along the foot of where I've got my tripod at. Just to kind of mask the scent between that and the lemongrass. It should hopefully mask the scent and help to, you know, prevent as many bugs from getting in. But I'm going to tell you, this is why I'm trying to get this done now ahead of time, because one of the things that happens, you get into July, late June, early July, when the weather starts to really get hot, we really start to get a big problem with the squash bugs, cucumber worms, and all that'll actually dig their way into the squash and into the melons. Again, not so much the melons, but like cantaloupe, I know they will. All right, which is a melon. He says. So that's what I got going on today. I got my garden bed all fixed up, ready to go. Got it all cleared out. Got it hydrated again, so that now hopefully everything will take. So I'm going to put in my my cantaloupes, and tag everything, and then water the dog snot out of it, just to get it as soaked in as possible, and we should be good. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by. I know this is a quick one, but thanks for stopping by. Do me a favor, give me a like and a subscribe, and let me know what you think. Most importantly, grow something in your backyard. Wouldn't it be nice to where every morning you want to come out and get a cantaloupe, you just pop out to your backyard, pluck one off the vine, take it in the house, cut it open, and eat it. All right. Got no no preservatives. It's got no pesticides. It's got no chemical fertilizer. So I can just pop it off and go to town. All right. Or as I'm wandering by, I can grab one and just munch on it as I please. All right. Either way, thanks for stopping by. Do me a favor, like I said, like and subscribe, and come back and see me. All right. And don't forget, grow something. You'll be happy you did. All right. Y'all take care.